Hey y'all, it's Evelyn again. I'm sitting out here on my back porch in Georgia, wrapped in my old knit sweater, watching the steam curl up off my coffee like it's got stories of its own to tell. The air's cold enough to bite, but not mean about it. One of those quiet January mornings where the world feels like it's holding its breath. Happy 2026, sweet friends. I don't know what kind of year you're walking into today, but I know this much. Sometimes a New Year dantee start with fireworks or big dreams. Sometimes it starts with finally laying down something heavy you've been carrying way too long. This story right here, it took me almost 70 years to learn. So get comfy, grab yourself something warm, 'cause this one ain't quick, and it sure ain't easy. But it's honest. And Lord knows honest stories are the ones that stick. My name's Evelyn Harper. I'm 69 years young, widowed going on 16 years now. Lost my husband Ronnie, so sudden it felt like the ground dropped clean out from under me. One minute he was complaining about the Braves, next minute he was gone. Heart attack. No warning, no goodbye, just silence where a whole life used to be. Our boy Cody was 19 at the time, still a baby in my eyes. Tall, skinny, actin' grown but scared underneath it all. When we stood graveside, him trying so hard not to cry, I made myself a promise right there in that red Georgia clay. I told God, you take Ronnie, but you leave my boy alone. I'll do the rest. And I meant it. From that day on, Cody became my whole world. I worked double shifts at the hospital, nights and weekends, holidays when everybody else was home, eating ham and laughing. I skipped vacations, drove the same car till the seats were duct taped, saved every dime like it was sacred. Not because I wanted stuff, because I wanted my son to feel safe. I wanted him to never doubt that even if his daddy was gone, he still had someone who wasn't going anywhere. Years rolled by, Cody grew up, or at least I thought he did. 5 years ago, he calls me one evening, all excited. Says, "Mama, I met someone." I could hear it in his voice. That tone boys get when they think they found the one. My heart did a little flip, half proud, half scared. 'Cause letting go don't come easy to mamas like me. A few weeks later, he brings her over. Madison. Lord, she was pretty, I'll give her that. Big bright smile, shiny hair, eyes that knew how to look soft. She hugged me like we were kin and called me Miss Evelyn right off the bat. Told me I was the mama she always wished she had. That should have been my first warning. But when you're lonely, kind words feel like sunshine. They moved into an apartment up in Alpharetta. Nice place. A little fancy for my taste, but Cody said it was what you gotta do these days. Rent was $950 a month. First month, Cody calls, embarrassed. "Mama, we're short this month. Just till next paycheck." I sent the money without thinking. That's what mamas do. Next month, same thing. Then groceries started. Madison liked name brand everything. Organic, this, gluten-free that. I'd roll through Publix with carts so full folks stared. Steaks, snacks, sodas, stuff Cody loved since he was little. $400 easy, twice a month. Furniture came next. Sectional couch, king-size bed, dining table they barely used. That big TV so Cody could watch his Bulldogs. Every time it was just this once, Mama. And every time I believed it. I told myself I was helping them get on their feet. Told myself this was temporary. Told myself love meant giving, even when it hurt a little. Years went by like that. 5 whole years. One quiet night, something made me sit down with my bank statements. Don't even remember why. Just a nudge in my chest that wouldn't let me sleep. $72,000. Gone. Money Ronnie and I saved for almost 40 years. Money meant for calm mornings and easy evenings. Money meant for rest. I stared at that number till my eyes burned. Then I folded the paper, slid it in a drawer, and said, "Nothin'," because Cody still hugged me, still called me Mama. Madison still sent heart emojis and called me her second mother, and I didn't want to be the villain in my own child's story. Then they got engaged. Lord help me. I was over the moon. Thought maybe all this help had led to something real. I helped pick Madison's dress. Wired $1,400 like it was not in. Paid for part of Cody's suit. Started putting money aside for a honeymoon fund. I even bought my own dress. Lavender shoes to match. Little handbag I didn't need but wanted anyway. I kept it hanging in the closet like a promise. Every time I asked about the date, they said, "Soon, Mama, still plannin'." Then one Tuesday afternoon, I called just to chat. Madison answered. Her voice was sweet. Too sweet. "Oh, Miss Evelyn, we actually got married yesterday. It was real small," she said. "Just the special ones, y'all." I don't remember much after that. I remember my hands sliding down the counter. I remember my knees giving out. I remember the sound my heart made when it broke. Special, I hung up without saying goodbye. That night I opened Facebook. There it was. A whole wedding. Fairy lights, big cake, champagne flutes, clinker family, laughing, smiling, celebrating. Not one picture of me. Not one mention. 7 days later, Madison called again. Rent was late. That was the moment something inside me finally snapped, quiet instead of loud. A calm I'd never felt before settled in my bones. I said, I thought I only helped the special ones. Silence. And that, right there, was the first breath of my new life. I didn't sleep much that night after I hung up on Madison. House felt too quiet, like it does when a storm's sitting out there but hasn't hit yet. I just kept staring at the ceiling, hearing Ronnie's voice in my head the way I used to when things got hard. Evie, he'd say, love ain't supposed to empty you out. Back then, I didn't understand what he meant. That night, I did. Next morning, I woke up with this strange calm in my chest. Not peace, not yet. More like resolve. Like something inside me had finally stood up straight after years of bending over backwards. I made myself coffee, sat at the kitchen table, and pulled every single bank statement I could find. Stacks of paper everywhere. Rent transfers. Grocery receipts. Furniture stores I didn't even remember walking into. Emergency Venmos at 2 a.m. Just this once, Mama. Just till payday. Promise we'll pay you back. I added it up slow. Triple-checked it because my hands were coon. $72,000, y'all. I had to put my head down on that table. That number felt heavier than Ronnie's casket ever did. That money wasn't extra. That was my safety. My future. The quiet little life Ronnie and I planned after decades of working ourselves to the bone. And I gave it away because I thought that's what good mothers do. I didn't cry that morning. Not yet. I just sat there staring at the numbers, realizing something real ugly but real true. They didn't forget to invite me to that wedding. They chose not to. Around noon, my phone buzzed. Cody's name. I stared at it till it stopped ringing. Then a text from Madison. Miss Evelyn, are you okay? You sounded upset yesterday. Upset, Lord. I didn't answer. That afternoon, I drove to the bank, walked right up to the counter like my knees weren't jelly. Told the young man there, real polite, I need to cancel every automatic payment going to my son and his wife. He looked up at me, surprised. You sure, ma'am? I nodded. I'm sure when I walked out of that bank. My hands were still shaken, but my back felt straighter than it had in years. That evening, the calls started. Cody first, then Madison, then Cody again. Voicemails stacking up like bills. Ma, what's going on? Madison's panicking. The landlord's calling. You always help us. Always. That word used to make me proud. Now it made my stomach turn. 2 days later, I came home from the grocery store. Just one cart this time, mind you, and saw 3 cars in my driveway. My heart dropped straight to my feet. I walked in and there they were. Cody pacing like a trapped animal. Madison sitting on my couch, eyes already red like she'd practiced, and a man I'd never seen before. Briefcase open, papers spread out like he owned the place. This is Mr. Halverson, Madison said. He's a lawyer. I set my bags down slow. Didn't say a word. The lawyer smiled tight. Mrs. Harper, we're just here because your family is concerned. Concerned. Funny word folks use when they want something. He started talking about sudden behavioral changes. About financial confusion, about making sure Evelyn is protected. Cody wouldn't look me in the eye. Madison sniffed. We just want to take care of you. Like you took care of us. That's when I felt it. That hot boiling anger crawl up my spine. I said real calm, get out. The lawyer blinked. Mrs. Harper. I said, get out of my house. Then he said the word that changed everything. Guardianship. Y'all, I swear the room went cold. They wanted control. Over my money, my decisions, my life. I pointed to the door and said, you leave right now or I call the police. Madison stood up, eyes hard now. This isn't over, she hissed as they walked out. It'll be hours anyway. That night, I didn't just cry. I shook because I finally saw it clear as day. This wasn't love. This was entitlement. Next morning, I called a lawyer. A real one. Mean as a rattlesnake and sharp as a tack. She listened to everything. Didn't interrupt once. Then she leaned back and said, Mrs. Harper, you're being financially abused. Hearing it out loud made me sick. We moved fast, changed banks, locked accounts, updated my will, new locks on the doors, security cameras up by the end of the week. But Cody and Madison didn't back down. They filed paperwork trying to declare me incompetent. Y'all, I'd survived childbirth, widowhood, double shifts, and grief. But that right there, that was the cruelest cut of all. The trial came faster than I expected. Courtroom cold as a freezer. Madison crying on cue. Cody looking small, like a boy who'd lost his way. They painted me as confused, lonely, easily influenced. Then my lawyer laid out the truth. 5 years of payments. Exact amounts, dates, receipts, wedding photos showing I wasn't there. A medical evaluation saying my mind was sharp as ever. When the judge finally spoke, his voice was firm. "This is not concern," he said. "This is greed." I nearly collapsed with relief. Outside that courthouse, I breathed deeper than I had in years. Like I'd been holding my breath my whole adult life. Cody tried one last time, caught me by the steps. "Ma, we just need help. Just a little." I looked at my son, the boy I raised, and said something that broke both our hearts. "Trust is the only thing broken here, and money can't buy it back." I walked away. And that, sweet friends, was the moment my old life officially ended. After that courthouse day, life didn't magically get easy. It just got honest. The phone stopped ringing. The house got quieter than I was used to, and for the first time in years, nobody needed something from me. At night, I'd sit at my kitchen table, hands wrapped around a mug, gone cold, staring at the same spot on the wall where Cody used to lean as a teenager, asking for gas money or forgiveness or both. Some nights I missed him so bad it felt physical, like an ache behind my ribs. But other nights I slept deeper than I had in decades. I realized something real important during those weeks. Peace doesn't shout, it whispers. I started doing small things just for me. Walking in the mornings, cooking meals I liked instead of what everyone else wanted, letting the phone go unanswered without explaining myself, and every single time I chose myself, the guilt got a little quieter. I went through old photos one afternoon, me and Ronnie on our honeymoon, young and broke and laughing. Cody on his first bike, skinned knees and all. There was love there. Real love. And I finally understood something that changed me. Just because love existed once doesn't mean it gives permission forever. That truth hurt, but it also healed. I stopped replaying arguments in my head. Stopped imagining apologies that were never human. Stopped hoping someone would suddenly wake up and become who I needed them to be. Instead, I asked myself a question I'd avoided my whole life. What do I need now? And for the first time, I listened to the answer. I know some of y'all listening right now feel this in your bones. You might not be a mama like me, might not be older, might not even be dealing with family, but you've been giving too much somewhere, to a job, to a relationship, to someone who takes and calls it love. You keep saying just one more time, once things settle down, after they change. Let me tell you something, heart to heart. If someone only values you when you're useful, they don't really value you, and that's a hard pill to swallow. I know. Took me almost 70 years. I spent so long thinking love meant sacrificing myself quiet, smiling through disappointment, paying for peace, but real love doesn't drain you dry and call it loyalty. These days, my life looks smaller from the outside. No big family dinners, no constant noise, but inside, it's fuller than it's ever been. I wake up without dread. I make plans without checking. If they work for someone else, I breathe easier. And if you're listening to this, wondering if it's too late for you, too late to change, too late to choose yourself, too late to draw a line, let me be real clear, it's not. It's never too late to stop abandoning yourself. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do isn't holding on, it's letting go. And I promise you this, on the other side of that fear is a version of you that's calmer, stronger, and finally at peace. I'm still learning, still unlearning, still forgiving myself for staying too long. But I'm standing in my truth now. And in the next part, I'll tell you what happened when I finally stopped looking back and started building a life that was truly mine. I used to think closure came with answers, with apologies, with somebody finally admitting they were wrong. But that ain't how life works most of the time. Sometimes closure comes real quiet. Like the moment you stop checking your phone. Like the first morning you wake up and don't feel that knot in your chest. Like realizing you went a whole day without explaining yourself to anyone. That's when I knew I was finally done. It wasn't the court win. It wasn't the restraining order. It wasn't even the money sitting safe where it belonged again. It was the peace. I remember one evening sitting out on my porch, sun slipping down slow over the lake, coffee gone cold in my hands because I'd forgotten to drink it. And I caught myself smiling for no reason at all. Not the polite smile you give folks so they don't worry. A real one, the kind that sneaks up on you, and I thought, Lord, when was the last time I felt like this? Probably before I started believing love meant sacrifice without limits. See, nobody tells you this when you're re-raising kids or holding families together or being the strong one everybody leans on, but you can give so much of yourself that one day there's barely any left, and folks won't notice, because they're used to talking. That don't make monsters. But it don't make it right either. I had to sit with that truth for a while. Had to grieve not just what I lost, but what I allowed. That part was harder because it meant forgiving myself. I used to replay every moment in my head. Wonder where I should have spoken up. Wonder why I didn't see it sooner. Wonder how love got tangled up with guilt so bad I couldn't tell apart. But here's what I finally learned. Hindsight Dan T. Mean much, if all you use it for is beating yourself up. The real lesson is what you do next, and what I did next was choose a different kind of life, a slower one, a quieter one, a truer one. I stopped rushing, stopped filling every silence, started listening to my own thoughts again. Turns out they're wiser than I gave them credit for. Some days I walk the shoreline barefoot, let the water lap at my ankles. Reminds me I'm still grounded, still here, still whole. Other days I just sit, watch boats drift by, watch the light change, and I don't feel the need to be useful or productive or needed. I just exist, and that's enough. I used to think rest had to be earned. Now I know it's a right. And listen, I ain't saying life turned perfect. I still have lonely moments, still have nights when memories sneak in uninvited, still wish things had gone differently with my son, but I don't live there anymore. I learned that loving someone doesn't mean letting them hurt you, and being a parent doesn't mean surrendering your dignity. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is step back and let grown folks live with the choices they made. That's not cruelty, that's boundaries. And boundaries, Hugh, they feel real uncomfortable at first. Folks will test M, push M, call you cold, call you selfish, call you changed. You have to let them, because change ain't always betrayal. Sometimes it's survival. I know some of y'all listening are nodding right now, because deep down you know this story ain't just mine. It's yours too. Maybe you're the one always covering the bills. Maybe you're the one keeping peace at your own expense. Maybe you've been guilted into staying quiet for so long, you forgot what your own voice sounds like. Let me tell you something plain. You are allowed to stop. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to protect what's left of you. And it don't make you heartless. It makes you awake. I wish someone had told me that years ago. Would have saved me a lot of tears. But maybe I had to learn it this way so I could pass it on. These days, when women come up to me at the center, eyes, tired voices shaky, whispering I think something's wrong but I daren't know how to say it, I just take their hand and tell them what I needed to hear once. Trust yourself. That feeling in your chest, that ain't drama, that ain't weakness. That's your spirit knocking saying, hey, this ain't right. Don't ignore it. I didn't get a do-over with my past, but I got a future that's finally mine. And at my age, that feels like a miracle all its own. I wake up thankful now, not for what I have, but for what I no longer carry. Resentment, fear, obligation, dressed up as love. I carry peace instead, and it fits me real good. So if you re-standin' on the edge of a decision, scared to step forward because you daren't know what comes next, let me tell you this. You don't need the whole map. You just need the courage to take one honest step. The rest, it works itself out. If this story stayed with you, if it felt like sitting across from an old friend who finally said the thing nobody else would, then stay connected. Subscribe, come back. There are more stories like this, quiet ones, real ones, the kind that don't shout but linger. And if you feel brave enough, tell me in the comments. What are you ready to let go of? What are you choosing to protect this year? I read every word. Truly, this space, it's for healing, for truth, for people who've been strong too long and are finally ready to be free. From my porch to wherever you're listening, I'm glad you're here, and I hope this is the year you choose yourself without apology. If this story touched you, if it felt like I was talking straight to your soul, I hope you stay a while. Subscribe, come sit with me again. These stories, they're for the ones who feel too much and say too little. Drop a comment if you're ready to let go of something that's been weighing you down. Or if you're claiming a new start this year, even if it scares you, you're not alone. Not here. This is Unspoken Pages, where quiet voices carry real truth. And from one soul to another, here's to your fresh start.